Welcome once again to Hunter's Entertainment on Twitch.tv. My name is Noxweiler Burf, and I am your game master and guide through the dark and challenging world of survival horror. Tonight, as we do every Tuesday evening, we're playing Outbreak Undead. Be warned, this game is not for the faint of heart, and I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each of my players. Our lines and veils have been very firmly drawn, and we have safety protocols in place to assist and protect everybody at the table tonight. We ask you for your consent as well, and encourage you to carefully read the content warnings. This game offers us all the opportunity to explore dark themes and to shine a light on the human condition in the safe confines of our imagination. But that takes bravery. It also takes the support of everyone involved, you included. You see, in this game, not every character is being played with the same objectives and motivations. It's quite different from the games that perhaps you've seen in the past. Some of the players are directly working against one another. Still others are in communication with dangerous outside forces, and may very well betray the others. You see, within our world, there are no magical swords. There is no chance of a valiant knight coming to your rescue. There are no castle walls to hide behind. The dangers in this world are far worse than dragons and magic. They are the sort of danger that wear the face of a world that is all too familiar. But it is a world that died long ago. Now, within our game, our characters are surrounded by the dying gasp of what is left of civilization. But it is in that darkness that we hope to be able to show you a story that amplifies and uplifts the opportunity for survivors to become the best version of themselves, to perhaps reignite that civilization, to join with others, to build something worth having, and to prove at the core that we, as a civilization, can persevere, no matter how bad things do become. I would like to thank both JB Jara and Alex Hillman and the entire Hunters team for helping us to make this campaign possible. Without their tireless support, we would not be here. Also, we ask you to please sign up in our Scry program in the panels below and help to engage directly with the communities of the apocalypse. You will take on the role of a survivor, and you can help to divert resources and goods to where you think they're most needed. Simply put, tonight, your choices will be the difference between life and death. They're linked to the settlements within the Rag and Bone universe and will immediately cause the story to shift. Our tireless Undead moderators are in the chat now, and they're prepared to help you by answering any questions that you might have. They're there to help support your efforts, and we ask you to please give them your appreciation and your respect. Also, if you enjoy the content that we're creating here at Hunters Entertainment, we ask that you continue to make noise for us on social media. It is the most direct way to help ensure that we're able to continue to do this for you, to be able to create more stories within these worlds. We want to grow and help to bring more survivors into the fold here. You can join into our Discord and connect with others that you feel might enjoy this particular brand of Dark Ride. And you can find us wherever you might search your social internet. We are there waiting for you. Enough of all of that, however. Allow me to introduce you to the players in tonight's little nightmare. Michelle, would you like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you're doing across the internet, and talk just a little about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Sure. Hey everyone, my name is Michelle Bradley. You can find me on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny on Twitter and Instagram. Also here every Tuesday, and also every Wednesday over on twitch.tv/officialpaizo for their Starfinder campaign, where I am a bug that likes to murder. That's pretty fun. That's like the whole thing. And then I'm also part of the YouTube channel Total Nerd, which is owned by Rinker. I do video essays over there all about video games, and we released a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles nostalgia nostalgia playthrough last week, and it was pretty rough, but it was fun. Otherwise, I'm here, and I am playing Faith. What's going on with Faith right now? So if you don't know, Faith is one of the children that Achira left behind in her early days during the apocalypse, and Faith and her adopted brother Omar survived, but we did have to eat the other children, so that's not great. But I'm also part of the Citadel. I feel like Rowan is like an aunt to me, and I'm just sort of part of this family now, and I believe that they are all that is good and right with the world, and I'm traveling with everyone else now who's not part of my party, part of the Citadel, and it's making me see that there's different shit about. That's it for me.
Markia, would you like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you're doing across the internet, and say just a little bit about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Hello, everyone. I'm Markia McCarty. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. Facebook is Markia TV, and here on Twitch, it is Darth Markia. Yes, I am the host, narrator, and producer for Something Scary. This is an animated horror series that is weekly. Every Tuesday, we're dropping some kind of urban legend or folklore, creepypasta, or fan-adapted stories. We also have a podcast called Something Scary. Go ahead and check that out wherever you find your wild podcasts. And along with that, we just concluded our epilogue finale for our Kids on Bikes campaign for Roll20. That was Mondays at 5 p.m. You can check out the Twitch VOD or YouTube VOD on Roll20 to be able to check out that series. We're possibly doing a season 2. That will, stay tuned for that. And otherwise in that, in April, I GM'd this really great dual campaign for Altered Carbon. It was called Altered Carbon Birmingham Uprising. I urge you to check out the YouTube VODs or our Twitch VODs with that, because with this dual campaign that we did with Level Up Dice, it was two sides of one story of a revolution of people, and also set in the future, the 24th century. And a lot of surprising choices came out of that. So as for my character, Achira there's a lot going on with her. She has a pretty layered and messed up past when it comes to people, things that she has done to other people and things that have been done to her. Amongst that, we haven't uncovered the particulars of it yet in the story, but in any case, she took this group of children from the Citadel, ended up being in an apartment with them, and then ended up leaving that apartment and leaving the children there. And Faith, Michelle's character, is one of those children, all grown up, and her character's brother Omar is another one of those children, all grown up, and both of them are on this mini expedition that Achira is on with the Citadel. And not only that, you know how Indiana Jones is about snakes? Achira is that about bears, and she just got attacked by an armored bear last episode. So everything's turning up Millhouse for her.
Thank you again for being with us. Luis, would you like to talk about yourself, about what you're doing across the internet, and a little bit about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm Luis Carrazzo. You can find me on all social media by just searching my name. I do some TV, I do some films, and some commercials. I got a couple commercials that are out there right now, which is really good. Of Hearts and Castles is a short film that I've talked about all the time. I'm really proud of. It's now, you can watch it now at the Sarasota Film Festival, and we're winning some awards. So if you follow me on Twitter, I will post a link to that film festival for anyone that's interested in watching that. I play Lampwick. Lampwick is I feel like I say the same. Actually, I'm going to say something that I should remind everybody of. So Lampwick is the kind of person that will do whatever it takes to survive, like a lot of us here. That's like what everybody's like. But one of the things that he does is he knows how to read people, and he tries to find whatever is missing in them, to exploit it, to get them to do what he wants them to do. At least that's how he functioned pre-apocalypse. So he was already doing that before all this went down. As the apocalypse was happening, one of the things that he did was he acquired a child. There was an abandoned baby girl, and he grabbed her, not necessarily to save the girl, but to use the baby as the prop that he needed in the moment to get whatever he needed from the people around him to help facilitate his own survival. Along the road, an attachment was made with this child, and that child was taken from him. So he is right now perhaps starting to get some clues as to where those people that are responsible for that were. At least that some of it was touched on last episode. But there's so much more going on with the other people that are here, so we'll see what happens with everyone tonight.
You've been carrying that as Lampwick for some time. For over 20 years, you have hunted for the people responsible with very little luck, without any progress being made, and recently you have started to uncover some indication as to where they may be located. These bikers that you once encountered on the road. Last but not least, Alex, thank you again for being with us. We're very excited to have you here. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself, about where you can be found on the internet, and about the character that you will be playing tonight?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Alex Ward. I'm an actor, and I play a lot of tabletop RPG stuff. I am, best place to find me is on Twitter, at AlexWard777. And yeah, I have a film coming out in a little bit, June, I think. Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Go see it, either at home or in the theater if you're vaccinated. And yeah, it's fun. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet either, so. But Gravedigger, or Digger for short, has been gone for a little bit. He's been away from the group, and has been doing some thinking on his own, and is realizing that maybe he wants to try and find them again. Kind of likes not being alone anymore. So he's been following, and that's where he is right now.
Very well. We're excited to have you here and to explore more of Digger's storyline. Thanks to the tireless support of you, our audience, every player here will be able to use an additional competency point. And it is my understanding that an additional 15 subscriptions has already been reached, meaning that they will receive next week's competency point as well. However, we are still hoping to gather 100 follows, and so I will tell you now that if we reach that goal by next week, I will authorize 2 competency points to be given. Again, thank you for all that you do to help support the Hunters Entertainment community. Without further ado, we should get moving. It's getting dark and the road is long. We'll be right back. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something far, far worse. H195, commonly called the Legacy or the Reaper's Kiss, was as deadly as it seemed to be. It became even more infectious after the poor souls who had contracted it passed away. At first, it seemed as if no one was immune to the airborne strain, but eventually it appeared that 0.01% of the entire population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus. And even worse, those who died from the infection rose. They lived on in a twisted mockery of the lives that they once held. Animated with rage, they pulled themselves from their graves and attacked any and all who were nearby. Ripping and tearing and flesh, endlessly hungering. Cities burned, and through a bite or a deep scratch or blood-on-blood contact, even those who were immune to the airborne strain could be infected. And in the chaos, through all of this, the end of days raged like wildfire. And throughout the world, people sought security and sanctuary where there was none to be had. Entire cities burned to the ground, but miraculously, some still survived. And for the next 25 years, life has struggled forward. The world now is a fractured place. But there are some few survivors who seek to make civilization anew. Settlements have rose in the wilderness. Groups of people gathered together for security, hoping to make it through the next day. The world is a hard place. The conveniences that are known in the modern era, forgotten. Now, rag and bone merchants travel through this land, seeking out those who need their services. They deliver goods, food and water, medical supplies, all of the necessities for any small community to continue onward. The Ender's Line is one such group. It uses old railway tracks to connect the small scattered outposts and settlements in the Midwestern United States and beyond. They are a lifeline in a world that now fully belongs to the dead. Matthew Thompson sits in a spacious gymnasium. It is dark. Flashing lights, colorful, streak across the dance floor. Crepe paper and decorations hang. It's the last dance of the year. And on the slick gymnasium floor, the Roosevelt High School mascot is emblazoned, a large, raging grizzly bear. Matthew sits, watching the other high school students dance. Currently, there is the shrill shriek of a harmonica as Blues Traveler sings on about running around. The music is poppy, and the high school students sway and dance awkwardly in the middle of the gymnasium. This is perhaps the last place that Matthew wishes to be. However, he was not given a choice. His father insisted. It's the last dance of the year, after the big football game. he'll be damned if his son doesn't show. It gives him an opportunity to talk to the other parents, to hang out and get to know everyone else and their children who are far more athletic and far more successful than his own. Matthew, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a suit, but it's ill-fitting. It doesn't, it's made for someone who's bigger than me, has broader shoulders, who has, who stands up straight. It doesn't fit me well. And I'm wearing very new dress shoes that I've never worn before.
Sitting next to you is another wallflower, Mitchell Murdoch, a pale, white, doughy junior. His face is covered in acne and his hair is slicked back uncomfortably. He also is wearing a suit that doesn't fit him correctly. The two of you and a handful of other students are sitting here on the bleachers, the far side of the room, as the lights spin and whirl and the music shifts. The crowd undulates back and forward as they move through the classic hits of the day. Everything is bright and happy. This isn't the sort of music that you listen to, is it?
No.
The veneer of optimism that the 90s has placed upon this music and this group of high school students threatens to make you sick. They all live plastic lives. They feel so artificial. You'd almost forgotten that Mitchell was talking to you, known by his friends as just Murdoch. He scratches and kind of elbows you. I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to get together this Saturday. I think that Chet had other plans, so our Heroes Unlimited game is going to have to wait.
Okay, yeah, sure. It's no big deal.
On Mitchell's lap is a stack of books. One of them is Stephen King's The Stand. The other is a true crime book on serial killers. He has a notebook that he is constantly writing in. All right, so here it is. Final answer. You're in the wilderness. The apocalypse has come. There are zombies everywhere. You can only carry one weapon with you, one tool, and take one person with you. What do you take with you?
I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, a shovel. It works as a tool and it could be used as a weapon, and 2 for 1 kind of thing. And I don't know who I'd take with me. Someone who knew what they were doing, I guess, out in the wilderness like that. I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
It's a trick question, really. I don't think anyone could survive with a group. People are statistically, they're completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
They're a liability. You're better being alone.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
I wouldn't take anyone. I'd take a shotgun, and I'd take the tools that I'd need to be able to make shells, and that's it. It's enough to hunt. Although, I suppose a bow and arrow would be more efficient, but I've never been very strong. I don't know if I'd be able to really do much damage with an arrow.
No, that's, yeah. The shotgun's easier to point and shoot, you know? It's loud, though. You gotta think about that.
You immediately, Matthew, wince as you see the figure moving across the gymnasium, walking towards you. You hope that he's not coming towards the two of you, but you know better. Troy Bakersfield is the school bully, a football player and a jock, and to make things even worse, his father is close friends with your father.
Yeah.
Of course, he always paints on a thin veneer of kindness whenever your father's around, but when the two of you are alone, he's incessant in his cruelty.
Yeah.
Troy walks over a few of his friends behind him.
Hey, Troy.
Sup, faggots?
Hey.
You two lovebirds gonna sit around here all night? Aren't
We're
the
just,
two of you gonna dance?
I don't know, maybe. We were just talking.
Yeah, go away, Troy. We didn't... What'd you say to me? Did I say you could talk to me? Troy, I don't really... Murdoch loses his nerve. So, just so you know, Matthew, my dad says that we have to spend time together this weekend. I'm supposed to help you learn how to throw a football.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, the school year is over, and you're not going to get any better than you already are, which is not good at all, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that what we're going to do is you're going to show up to the field on Saturday, just like your dad is going to expect you to. And I'm going to take Cassandra out driving. And the two of us are probably going to have the sex in the back of my car. And you're going to just cover for me while I'm out. How does that sound?
Yeah, Troy. That sounds good. Yeah, you do your thing.
If you tell your dad or my dad that we didn't toss this football around on Saturday, I swear to you, I'm going to make you regret it.
I'm not going to snitch. I won't snitch.
You better not. He does that childish and ignorant lunge that causes Murdoch to flinch backwards, nearly falling over the back of his seat. Troy walks back across the gymnasium, leaving you in your seat. Murdoch scrambles to pick his books back up. I really hate that guy.
Yeah, well, at least I don't have to hang out with him this weekend now.
Yeah, it would be worse. Like you want to throw a football with that guy. What a douchebag.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about football.
Why does your dad even care?
My dad's friends with his dad. My dad wants me to be a man, and in his mind, men are good at football. You know?
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, it is. But he's my dad, so
I'm sorry, buddy.
it's fine. You don't get to choose your dad.
Nah. You really don't, do you?
No.
Hey, but you do get to choose your friends. And I'm glad you're my friend.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're my friend too.
And you know, one of these days, meatheads like Troy, everybody's gonna forget about them.
Yeah, we can hope.
Yeah. Murdoch scratches against the back of his head, and you see a sleeve pull up. He's got a birthmark that looks like a duck on the side of his arm. He's always been incessantly teased because of it. His entire elementary and middle school life, he was known as Ducky. But thankfully, in high school, people found other reasons to make fun of Murdoch. That was the last time you ever saw him.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, in the woods, many, many years later, it is dark. The ridges of the mountain surround all of you. A heavy mist is on the ground. The trees around you creak and groan with a heavy wind. The bear, an enormous grizzly, covered in steel plates and leather straps, lies on the ground twitching in a pool of blood. In the back of the ATV, Rowan holds her gun out. It's still smoking as she exhales. The ATV has lunged forward. Anyone inside of it is tossed to the ground. A rock has been dropped from a cliffside some distance ahead, and it has crashed with full force into the front of the ATV. The vehicle slams into it. The front bumper curls around it with a sickening crunch. Steam and smoke rise up from it as the hood pops open. And the entire thing jolts forward. Who all is in the vehicle at this point?
I most definitely am.
And you had grabbed onto a number of individuals as they were running forward. I believe it was both Faith and Omar. Is that correct?
Yes. I helped them get in.
That's what it was, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Achira is inside.
Everyone who's inside of the vehicle, I want you to roll your dodge.
Okay.
As glass, metal, and the assorted gear that you're carrying within the vehicle tossles around you, slamming into the walls and the paneling. Faith, that is 4 degrees of success.
Wow.
Achira, that is 1 degree of success.
Oh, here we go. You guys used up all the successes.
I know. Oh, God.
Told you.
Truer words have never been said, and I do believe that you've done this to yourself, Louise.
Ah.
Lampwick, you have 5 degrees of failure. That is a catastrophic failure.
You did. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Quick, right through the windshield.
Right. No,
many-
How
How many of these are you going to allow to ride? You do have a number of competency points.
Right.
It is the first roll of our session, however.
I know. I can't let a catastrophic failure get me. So
Can I give him one of my successes since he helped me in? I'm like probably within grabbing distance of him.
Yes, if you wish to, you're going to use a competency point?
Yeah, I'll give you one so you're not burning all yours.
All right.
Great.
You provide a competency point for Lampwick, allowing you to use some of your successes as you not only catch yourself, but you grab onto Lampwick as his head nearly barrels into a window.
I'm assuming I, of course, still need to use some competency points, or else my head is going through it. So
you have 4 degrees of failure at this point.
I will use 2 competency points to take it down to 2 degrees of failure. That's not a catastrophic failure.
It is
correct?
not. No, it is just a failure.
Yeah. I'll write a failure, but not a catastrophic failure.
Okay. Do you have any armor on at this point, Lampwick?
I do.
What is your defense?
My defense on my armor is... I have light body armor. Character has 2.
Okay, so your armor catches a steel bar that breaks through the roof of the ATV and nearly pierces through your shoulder.
Ooh.
However, the Citadel armor that you're wearing protects you from it. And while you take no direct damage, you do have a 4 that is added to your damage track.
Got it.
Everyone else, however, including Achira, who only has 1 degree of success, manages to roll with it. However, Achira, you are still, for all intents and purposes, on the ground of the vehicle. So you're going to have to pull yourself up. While you're not wounded, you will be spending your next action to pull yourself back into the fight. Is that acceptable to you, or would you like to do something about it?
I'm going to hold on to my competency points for right now, so.
Very well. Faith, you, however, manage to keep yourself upright. You help Lampwick along the way, and you take no damage either. Omar catches himself as well, as does Rowan, who braces herself along the back and looks desperately back towards all of you. What the hell's going on back there?
I don't know. I can go check it out. The car is completely stopped now, right?
The car has the ATV is 100% at a dead stop.
All right.
Kusanagi, who was in the front seat, is looks like he may be unconscious. There is a small trickle of blood on his forehead, and he hit the dashboard pretty hard.
I'm gonna check on Kusanagi.
All right. So
yeah,
if
I'll
you're-
step out and check the back.
Okay, so your intention, Faith, is to check the front of the vehicle to find out what exactly
Oh yeah,
shot
the
you?
front. Yes.
Yeah. And Achira, your intention is to check on Kusanagi. Lampwick, what is your intention in this moment?
I'm gonna look around outside of us. I want to see if I can notice anything on our perimeter. So, we just slammed into an object. That's what caused us to jolt and stop. Is that what happened?
There was a large object that rolled in front. You saw something. Your best guess is that it was a boulder that was rolled down a cliff embankment that was on the pathway, the mountainous pathway that you and your group were traveling along. To remind everyone here, to your right is a small cabin that was explored by Faith and Omar. Within the cabin, some booby traps were discovered, and the group was quickly trying to make an escape before anyone else made an appearance. The radio has been jammed. There's someone who is following all of you very closely and is working to actively scramble your communications.
Inez is in the driver's seat still, right?
Inez is in the driver's seat. She is conscious. She's groaning and she pulls herself up. She's cursing and hitting the wheel. Damn it! Fuck!
Does this thing still work? Can you get us out of here?
I don't fucking know, Lampwick. Somebody check. You hear revving and the engine is spinning, and then all of a sudden it backfires and stops dead.
All right, maybe lay off the gas for a second before we figure out whether this thing's going to blow up on us or not. And I'm just looking around, see if I notice anybody approaching.
Fucking great. You see Inez pulls her handgun and starts kind of scanning around the horizon as well. You hear Rowan from the back seat. She's all the way by the window. Hey, look, that bear may be the fuck down, but we don't know what else is out there, and I don't think the bear was alone. Can we keep it together?
It's together. What's our move? Boss.
Let's find out if this fucking thing can run. Faith, you're on it?
Yep, checking the perimeter first.
All right. I want everybody to make a spot listen with the exception of Achira. Achira, I would like for you to make a first aid check, please. And everyone is going to have 1 black dice of difficulty on their spot listen. Achira has no dice of difficulty on the first aid, and I need everyone to roll 2 blue dice for your initiative as well.
Copy that. Did you say difficulty dice for us?
Yes, you have 1 black difficulty die.
Got it.
Due to the fact that it is pitch black out there, and you're looking out into the middle of this abyss. It is foggy. The weather is overcast, and it's very, very cold. All of you are seeing and feeling your breath as you feel the chill in the air. Now, how did you all do here? The spot listen for Faith is 4 degrees of success. Wow. The first aid for Achira is 4 degrees of failure. And the spot listen for Lampwick is 2 degrees of success. All of you, with the exception of Faith, are operating on a 10. So we'll come back to the 2 of you. Faith, you are first up in the round. So are you going to continue to scan the horizon as you step out of the vehicle?
Correct. I'm looking for what possibly we ran into, if there's traps, anything around the perimeter.
Yes, there is a boulder that has been rolled in front of the vehicle. You look up quickly and you see the area that it was held back in, and you see a number of wooden crude logs that were placed around the dirt of the cliff just about 10 feet above you. This was no accident.
All right, everyone, this was a trap. Someone's watching us. They let this boulder go down here, and at least we hit a boulder, not another bear.
Because of your additional successes, I'm going to allow you to carry 2 of those successes over onto a dodge roll, Faith.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Immediately you hear a very slight movement in the trees to your left, and
any difficulty die?
No additional difficulty die are added to this.
Okay.
But you do have 2 automatic degrees of success that you can add to that.
1 second. It's... Oh, doing so good. It's not gonna last. So that's 2 successes plus 2 is 4.
You manage to duck to the ground as a white feathered arrow pierces into the vehicle behind you, actually moving through the steel. It groans as it hits behind you, and the shaft splinters and breaks, but it actually, the draw on whatever bow was used was strong enough to pierce through the thin metal of the side of this ATV.
Go up, we got shots fired, everyone, take cover. And I'm gonna kind of roll next to the ATV.
I'll allow you to use your remaining degrees of success to kind of reposition yourself as you move back to a place that you believe is out of the range of fire. Everyone else, there's very little glass in this ATV. Most of it has been replaced, and there are metal grids that have been welded to the outside. So it is very much like being in a cage. The only downside to that situation is that there are no easy ways out of the vehicle. The back is probably the most accessible. It is open currently, and that is where Rowan was shooting the bear from. The armored bear nearly ripped the back gate off of this ATV. It's very much like a flatbed that has had a number of old minivan seats welded into the back. 2 of those seats are facing out so that individuals will have the ability to fire and keep an eye on the road behind them as they travel. The other seats are all facing forward, and there are a few places where glass has been utilized here. Most of that now is shattered, and there are a few places where the roll cage has crumbled due to the impact. However, for the most part, this vehicle seems to be intact. Even the front of it, Faith, as you look at it, it looks like fairly minor damage. The bumper is not pretty, but it was reinforced enough so that it could ram through anything that might be in the way. This vehicle was built to deal with damage from the front. So while it has stopped you, and it is clear that there is some damage to the engine itself, you don't feel like this vehicle has been fully totaled. Moving back here to our tins, Achira and Lampwick, which of you wishes to go first?
Achira's checking Kusanagi. I'm gonna use competency points, so it's not the 4 degrees of failure that I have here, which I would assume Achira is just like, he's dead.
That is most likely the diagnostic choice that you would have made had you not spent some competency points there.
Okay. So let's say 2 competency points to bring it down to 2 degrees of failure as opposed to 4.
Very well. You bring it down to 2 degrees of failure.
Oh, is this a location hazard? Because we're being shot at with bow and arrow when we were in the car?
The interior of the vehicle is not a location hazard.
Okay, then just 2 competency.
Yes. If you recall, being attacked by the bear in the vehicle was a location hazard. This is in between location hazards. So with your current situation, you lower this to 2 degrees of failure. You're not sure if he's all right or not. He's definitely unconscious.
Okay, then Achira, he's on the floor right now already, right? And she would just
lumped onto the dashboard.
Oh, she would pull him down to the floor to get him under cover, and that's it.
I won't require you to make a roll for that. You do manage to pull him down and have him take cover as another arrow rattles on the cage, being fired directly at both you and Kusanagi. However, it does not penetrate the armor of the ATV. Lampwick, 2 shafts from arrows shoot through the open windows in the back and land just inches away from Rowan as she rolls to one side. The arrows are sticking out of the cushions now, and they look fairly rough and handmade. There are white turkey feathers on the back of them, and the tip of them has pierced through, and you see these jagged, rusted metal tips that have been placed on the end of the shaft.
Wow. I'm gonna kind of take cover, and I'm gonna call out there to these people that are trying to kill us. Stand down. We're not enemies. We have information to share. You do not want to kill us. We can help.
Lampwick, I will allow you to make a persuade roll. However, I'm going to impose 2 black dice of difficulty due to the nature of you not being able to see anyone, and you are shouting from the inside of a vehicle. You're uncertain as to whether or not your communication will be clear.
That's fair enough. All right.
It's 3 degrees of failure. Do you ride with the 3 degrees of failure, Lampwick, or do you spend competency to adjust this?
I am going to spend 4 competency points, which is going to wipe me out. So that becomes 4 degrees of success.
It becomes 4 degrees of success, Lampwick, and you no longer have any competency points for the remainder of this session tonight.
That is correct.
Your words are heard, but there is no response. 2 more arrows hit the side of the ATV. Neither of them pierce through the armor of the vehicle, and they clatter to the ground. One of the shafts splinters and explodes from the mighty force that is being used from the bow. Digger, you're in the woods. You've been keeping your distance. They're in a vehicle that is fairly quick. However, you got lucky. They started to make their way up a mountain path. It slowed them down considerably. You've been following them since they left the Citadel. Ever since you were parted from the presence of June, you have been watching them. You followed her captors back to this place. But you didn't see June leave. You haven't seen June in a while now. You were watching from a distance. The military base for the faction known as the Citadel has recently been under fire. A number of saboteurs have assaulted that place. There were fires. Other chaos had broken out in their courtyard. However, unfortunately, it seems as if they managed to regain control of their stronghold. A small unit shortly thereafter was sent out, and in the ATV riding across the top, you saw Achira very clearly, working alongside the Citadel. Knowing that you wouldn't be able to very easily infiltrate the Citadel's defenses, you decided that you were going to make your way and hope to find a moment to speak with Achira, to be able to find out what exactly is happening and where June might be. The time that you spent with June was short, but in that time, you saw the hope and the possibility that she might be able to survive much in the way that you've learned how to survive. She wanted to know how to manage herself around the Romeros, how to walk amongst the dead the way that you do. And for the first time in over 20 years, you remembered what it was like to have a friend. Neither of you spoke. It was a very quiet and distant friendship. But both you and June have spent the majority of your life out here in the wild. And you're not ready to give that up quite yet. So rather than retreat back to your home near Pittsburgh and Station 7, you have followed this group, this unit of Citadel soldiers, hoping to find time to pull Achira aside and get answers, and if necessary, find a way into the Citadel to help her. However, from a distance, as you have just now begun to catch up with them, it's nighttime. The fog is heavy, and you heard the roars of what could only be a bear. Then you heard gunshots. Now you're lurking on the edge of the scene. You see smoke pouring forth from the ATV as a number of individuals step out. A woman that you don't know is nearly shot by an arrow and ducks down. You see other figures inside of the ATV moving about. Their shadows chaotically climb over one another. People are alive. A boulder has been dropped in front of them. You can make a spot listen check if you wish to be able to determine the location of the archers.
I will do that.
You have 1 degree, 1 black die of difficulty that I would have you add to that roll, and also no dice of no blue dice at this point. We'll roll you out of initiative for now.
All right, spot listen. Nah.
That is 3 degrees of failure. Do you wish to ride that out or use some of your competency?
I'll ride that out.
Okay. You're unable to determine exactly where the archers are. Whoever it is, they're very good. They're used to this terrain.
Damn. Okay.
What would you like to do, Digger?
I'm gonna try and make my way silently to if I can get to the other side of the boulder they crashed into, to kind of circle around to try and find a way I could possibly get them out of that situation.
All right. I'd like for you to make a stealth roll for me as you try to maneuver yourself through the woods into a location that will allow you to assist them better.
Okay. Any difficulty?
No additional difficulty added. You're very good. You're within your element, and since you are in the dark in the woods, removed from other individuals, there is no difficulty added to this roll.
I will spend 2 competency points to make that a success.
You do manage to make your way around the perimeter, and as you do, you see a number of figures slowly moving along the ridgeline and repositioning themselves. They are dark, blotchy shapes. It's hard for you to see anything clearly. You can't see any details. You just see the forms moving about. And then somewhere in the woods, you hear the roar of a mountain lion.
Gotta get out of here. All right.
It's followed by the clinking of chain.
That's unusual.
All right. While you have repositioned yourself, Digger, everyone inside of the ATV or outside of the ATV, what are your current intentions for this round?
I think I would attempt to find the source of the arrow and take care of it. So, stealthing towards the source, I believe.
So do you wish to move towards it, or do you wish to try to suss out the location of your attacker?
Location first.
Very well. What I'd like for you to do is to make a spot listen. If you have any specialized gear that you wish to use, you may. However, I will remind you that it is nighttime, and it is very dark out here in the woods. There are no electric lights. There is nothing other than the ATV to create any illumination. Therefore, many of your items will not be able to be used unless you turn on a flashlight.
I don't do it. I'll take the difficulty.
Very well. Doing such things does tend to increase the risk that I'm able to use.
Oh.
So your choice, you didn't turn it on. So turning on a light would have created some risk for me.
Oh, I see. Okay, I misheard.
However, you did not do that. So you have not created any additional risk for me to use.
Since I didn't turn the flashlight on, I can't use my recon gear?
You cannot.
Okay, got it. So straight roll.
Straight roll. And so that you and all of our audience is clear, I have spent 50 risk so far this session.
Okay, was that the mountain lion, or was that something different?
You believe that it is the mountain lion,
okay.
Although you have yet to be able to assess the situation.
Okay, cool. Okay, so spot listen, difficulty die, speed die.
So there are no difficulty dice, as you have succeeded very handily on your last roll. You know generally where the individual should be, so I'm going to allow you to roll this straight with no gear.
Okay.
Lampwick, while that roll is being made, what are you doing? What is your intention this round?
I'm inside the car, and I want to get the fuck out of here. My citadel, not my citadel, my sentinel, my shepherd's guard. What has he been doing this whole time?
He was on top of the ATV when it crashed.
Woof.
No one has seen him.
Okay, great. I'm gonna. These folks are using arrows. I'm going to get my spear positioned in between the bars, kind of low, so that if anyone comes close and if I need to impale them through the bars, I will do so. But I'm also, if while doing that, I'm going to try to keep my antenna. I'm trying to figure out who's out there and if they're near. Trying to get a sense of where they might be.
That's a very complex intention. So what I'm going to do is have you make a composure roll, and then I'm going to have you make a spot listen check.
Okay.
Achira, what is your intention in this moment?
Since we're all in the car together, is there any type of way that we're in some sort of formation?
No one has announced that they are forming a formation. It is possible to do so.
Achira would like to position herself to form a formation. Her major intention is that, I would think from the general angle of the arrows that she would know which side to stealth out on and which side not.
Mhm.
But her major intention is to stealth into the woods, but I would like to move her into a formation with the rest of the group right now.
So the entire group is going to be brought into a formation. Do you have a specific formation that you are able to enact?
The defensive formation.
Lampwick, you have some
Mhm.
specific formation elements that you have on your sheet. Do you wish to enact those as well?
Sure, yes. If I take point, then we get a bonus to morale, and I believe that could have an effect on our composure. So as
It
I'm
will
getting
have
into
an effect on your composure, yes.
as I'm getting into position, and if I see Achira is kind of maneuvering around me, I'm gonna, and I got 2 successes on my composure. I'm just kind of like settle in to the position that I'm taking and sort of kind of, I guess, take point, if that's possible, from within the position that I'm in within.
Right. So the two of
the car.
you meet eyes, Achira and Lampwick, and you begin gathering the individuals in the space together. Rowan pushes herself back so that the group is more or less back to back, including Omar. And Omar is very concerned about covering Faith and has his rifle pointed out, his assault rifle pointed out, and is aiming along the ridgeline, just waiting to fire. Rowan is sort of covering the back, and the two of you are working together in whatever way you see fit. However, it would be very impossible for anyone to sneak up on you, and all of you will be receiving a morale bonus and some benefit to your composure checks. Speaking of which, Lampwick, we have a roll for 2 degrees of success on your composure. Is that where you wish to leave it?
Yeah, I can't do anything with it. I'm out of competency points.
Did you also make your spot listen as well?
I have not.
Achira, I would also like for you to make a spot listen.
Mm-hmm. And Achira would also want to say to everyone, since they're right there close, what are the things that we know? We know that they use animals. We know that they arm them. We know that they don't have guns, otherwise they would have used them.
Or they're trying to be silent.
Damn it, Achira.
That's not me. That's Lampwick.
Oh,
Sorry,
no. That was Rowan speaking to you.
Oh.
Damn it, Achira. I really try to hate you, but it's hard to do sometimes. And she kind of looks back at you and smiles a little awkwardly as she's still scanning the side. Achira's right. Keep your eyes over to the ridgeline. It might be possible that they're trying to tighten in on us. If they want to get us out of here, they're going to have to come to us.
Since Achira does most of her stealthy stuff at night, like she literally chooses to do that instead of the day, is it possible for me to maybe take a difficulty dice on this spot listen so that I can use my recon gear?
Yes, I'll allow it. Lampwick, you are it's hard for you to focus. You've got your spear in place. You've managed to calm your nerves, and you're ready to attack. You will not suffer any negatives if you do need to use your spear, as long as you remain in this formation and at the ready. However, you are unaware of the location of anyone outside of the vehicle.
Got it.
Achira, you have 1 on your spot. Listen, 1 degree of success. Do you wish to leave that at a single success?
I feel like I'm gonna need them later, so if this is this a location hazard? I mean,
No.
I will save. I will save it.
All right. So you hold tight and you listen, Achira, and you do hear movement along the ridgeline, but it's hard to pinpoint it. Faith, what is your intention right now? Are you going to remain outside on the ground, or are you going to try to make your way closer to the hood of the vehicle to try to assess the damage?
I think I'm gonna yeah, I'll go assess the damage of the car and see if we can get it started again.
All right. You can make a dodge check for me, and then also I will have you do you have any sort of engineering skills or any sort of repair skills that I should know about?
Nah, nope, good at fighting. That's about it.
It's not a bad thing. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you make a spot listen check alongside your dodge. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the dodge first. Not great. Let's do the spot listen. Okay, this is kind of what I'm used to in this game.
All the same.
Okay, so you have 2 failures. They're both 4 degrees of failure. They're both catastrophic failures. The dodge itself and the spot listen, I'm going to roll those into 1 failure. You automatically see nothing. You don't even get to the hood of the vehicle as arrows start to pelt around you, as you get the sense that someone is trying to herd you in a direction.
Okay. I guess that's my turn.
Do you want to keep the dodge as 4 degrees of failure?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get poked if I do. I'll move it down to just 3, if that's okay. So 3 degrees. Sorry, I'll take away 3.
Yeah, so
that's
you're going to keep it from being a absolute critical failure.
Okay. Regular wound.
It is a regular wound. Do you have armor on?
I do, yes.
And it's defense 2?
Oh. I will check that in my notes. That is somewhere here.
I believe it is Citadel armor, so it should be a defense 2. Yeah.
Correct, it is. Yes, you're right.
Okay. I have, however, added a die due to the nature of the damage that is being used here. You take a 2 and a 1 to your damage track. Neither of which I think breaks over your damage threshold. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you've gotten somewhat lucky here, Faith, as the shaft of the arrow hits your armor plate on your thigh. However, it only barely pierces through, and you feel the jagged stab of metal on the other side of the plate and the warmth of blood starting to well up underneath your leg plate. Luckily, it hasn't penetrated deep enough to go to muscle and isn't going to cause you very much trouble as long as you're able to disinfect the wound fairly soon.
Oh, I'm hit just a tiny wound. I'm fine, but I would not suggest getting out of formation, everyone. I don't think they want us to start this car again.
We need to start the car and get the hell out of here, Inez.
Inez turns the engine, and it does jolt back into life. It begins to purr and clatter as the engine rumbles.
Is there another way out of this clearing than here?
You don't see another way except the way that you came. And Inez would have to do a 360 turn to be able to start making it down the very jagged and dangerous mountain pathway that you used to get here. It's possible, but it would take a lot of time, and it would certainly make all of you very, very vulnerable to attack. Inez curses again as she begins pulling back just a little bit, and the boulder rolls slightly forward. The vehicle is freed from the rock in front. However, the steam that has been issuing forth from the hood of the vehicle continues to spurt outward. I'm not gonna lie here. I don't really know how long this fucking thing is gonna last. We gotta make a choice. What am I doing, boss?
I have an idea, Rowan. I have an idea if you'll listen to it, but you're the boss. Their eyes are going to be on the vehicle. If Inez just drives around the perimeter and we jump off one at a time, but then use the vehicle to continue going to keep their eyes on the vehicle, then we might be able to get the jump on them. Does that make sense?
That sounds like a fast way to get me killed, Lampwick. Are you going to drive it?
Inez is driving it. You're the one right there. There's no time to switch.
That was Inez yelling at you. She didn't allow Rowan to answer as you made the suggestion. Rowan's like, now hold on. I think I understand where Lampwick is going here, but Inez, no, we can't risk you. All right, somebody's got to get Kusanagi out of here. So who's going to do that?
Well, Kusanagi is unconscious on the floor right now. I don't think any arrows can get to him.
You hear the assault rifle fire of the two other soldiers that were on the outside of the ATV as they've pulled themselves up and they're firing back, trying to create a perimeter. They kind of look desperately back at the ATV as an arrow pierces through one of their necks and causes them to stumble back as blood squirts across the side of the ATV. Digger, you watch as one of these soldiers gets shot through the neck with an arrow.
How close am I to the ATV?
You're about 30 feet in the woods.
Okay.
The back door has been opened. There is a window that has been propped open on the back as well. You see figures that are moving about on the inside. However, you don't recognize any of them.
How big is this boulder we're talking about?
It's very large. It's about half the size of the vehicle itself.
Okay, never mind.
And it's not going to move easily, but you've witnessed as the ATV has pulled away from it. And it's dragging part of its front bumper, but it seems to be operational. It just has nowhere to go because the boulder is blocking the roadway.
Right. Now, the boulder, where it is now, does it want to roll in a specific direction?
You would have to get closer to the boulder to examine its situation. You are on a steep incline. It might be possible to roll it away with some effort.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to try and get close to the boulder and see if I can feasibly roll it.
All right. And you're trying to do so.
To roll it.
You're going to do so without being seen, I assume,
yes.
Correct? Make another stealth check for me. You have 1 dice of difficulty as you are getting dangerously close to the outskirts of the tree line. You think you might be exposing yourself, and your only real hope here is that all of the chaos that's being created by this ATV pulling backwards, the dust and the debris, might give you some cover needed to be able to make this maneuver work.
Right. Okay. Don't have anything that helps that. Okay. I'm going to use 3 competency points to give me 2 successes.
All right. So with 2 successes, you do manage to make it around the perimeter without being seen. You're now on the other side of the boulder. We'll come back to you, Digger, as you begin to examine the situation. Faith, on the outside, the ATV pulls back and you kind of walk alongside it. 2 of the soldiers, you hear one of them firing on the opposite end of the ATV. The other one is standing now and is firing out. And you watch as the shaft of an arrow pierces through his neck and throws his body backwards.
I'm gonna try to shoot back at whoever's shooting at us.
All right. You have a general direction. You can go ahead and make a few shots if you like with a few dice of difficulty, or you could spend your time trying to hone in on the location of your attackers again.
I will shoot because I think I'm better at that than looking
All
for
right.
things.
So rather than trying to scan the tree line any longer, you pull up your weapon and you begin firing. Are you using your long gun or your pistol?
Pistol, please.
Okay, so you pull out your automatic pistol and you begin firing.
Okay, here we go.
You have 2 dice of difficulty, as you don't have a clear target and it is very dark.
There it is. Sorry, 2 difficulty. Okay, here we go.
Unfortunately, due to the dice of difficulty, you have 1 degree of failure here, Faith. Do you wish to hold on to that?
I'm gonna burn 2 more competency to get to 1 degree of success to see if I can at least shoot in the correct direction.
All right. So with 1 dice or 1 degree of success now, you see a figure in a tree leap down. You don't know if you've hit them or not, but you have certainly dislodged them from their hiding place. There's a large, rag-covered silhouette that stands and runs across your view.
The fuck?
Achira hasn't done anything yet. Can she see this and aim and shoot at them?
Yes, if you wish to fire as well, since, yes, Achira, go ahead and fire your weapon as well. Are you going to lean out from the open side window, or are you going to remain inside shooting through the caging of the ATV?
I just want to make this as smooth as possible, so I guess inside through the cage. She's had her long gun because that's what she used for her bear, so she will use her long gun again.
Okay, so you pull the weapon up and you're ready to fire. Go ahead and roll. I will add 1 black die of difficulty due to the darkness. However, you do have a moving target now.
Okay. Just a question. If Achira spends her next turn with her eyes closed to get used to the darkness, could she get that dice of difficulty away?
If you spend this round making a spot listen check, I will allow you to attune yourself to your surroundings a little better and try to get a better bead on your attackers. But no, if you just close your eyes, that won't do it for you. But I'll allow you to make a spot listen check to try to acclimate yourself to your surroundings better.
I'm gonna take a shot at this guy.
Right.
He's running. Well, I'm sorry, this person.
Yeah. You don't know their gender, but you are going to fire at them. So with a 52%, you actually have 1 degree of success.
I'm going to do 2 competency points to make it 3 degrees of success.
And
with
it's a good
3
thing.
degrees of success with my long gun, I believe that does something. I have to bring up the... Oh, I don't... Oh, here it is.
All right. Tell me what you're going to trigger.
Oh, okay. No, it's 4 degrees. Fine. Yeah, I'm gonna do... Gosh darn it. Wait, I'm out... No, I'm still in the car. All right. I'm gonna do 3 degrees. I'm sorry, 3 competency points to make it 4 degrees of success, which makes it a headshot.
Okay, you're going to headshot. So
I'm going to headshot this person.
You watch as the ragged individual runs across the tree line, and Faith, their head explodes outward as they drop to the ground and roll and stop moving. On the ground, scattered in front of them, you see a bow and a quiver of arrows dumps out. And you can see that they're wearing something that sort of looks like a ghillie suit, but it's very dark and hard to tell. All right, Lampwick. what was your action this round? What were you doing? You had your spear at the ready and you were waiting for someone to try to get nearby. Are you continuing with that?
I'm going to try to intimidate them. So now if I see somebody drop, I'm going to yell out, "That's nothing, motherfuckers! If you keep fighting us, more of you are going to drop!"
All right, go ahead and make your intimidate roll for me. I won't add or impose any dice of difficulty onto that, so you can just make the roll.
Alrighty.
You managed to yell loud enough that it is very clear what your intention is.
Come on. Oh, why?
Lampwick, I'm sorry to say that is 5 degrees of failure.
Wow. Did that happen?
Rolls tonight.
Not good for me. They liked me last time.
So that is a catastrophic failure. Now, luckily, it's a catastrophic failure on intimidation.
Right.
You don't think that this is going to cause anyone to necessarily be killed. However, you do think that you might have insulted some people here.
Right.
So what would you like to do? Do you want to? You don't have any competency, so I don't think you can adjust this at all.
I can't. At all. No, there's nothing I can do to mitigate that. So what happens? I mean, if I feel like a failure such as this must make, well, first of all, they're not intimidated. They're probably pissed off, and now their eyes are on me, and I become their target.
I agree. I think that that's fair. I think that you've made yourself the primary target as you've continued to yell and harass them from a distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect all of the opponents to Lampwick.
Thanks. Roll 20.
Don't get out of the car, dude.
I'm not getting out of the
Everything goes quiet for a moment. Digger, you are searching around the base of the boulder, and you think that with some leverage, you might be able to get this boulder rolled out of the way.
Great. I'm going to take a quick look around. Is there any, is there any trees nearby that have, big fallen branches on the ground or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah, there's plenty of that.
Okay. And is there a large, some yay big rock, something I could feasibly lift and move?
Yes, there are both. Do you grab the material that you need?
Yeah, I want to make
together.
A lever.
Okay. If you're going to make a lever, Digger, all I need you to do is to make a stealth roll for me, but I'm going to impose 2 black dice of difficulty as you are breaking sticks and moving rocks in the leaves.
All right, will do. Come on. Just give me some. Okay, not bad. Okay, but...
That is 1 degree of failure, but you have a good deal of competency because you're in the woods, correct?
Yes, so I'll take 2 to make it a success. Spend 2.
All right, so you're going to allow your stealth to be 1 degree of success.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to inform you, Alex.
Yeah.
That just as with any of you, when you're searching for someone, your successes are compared to their stealth roll. Right. You would like to stay with 1 degree of success, correct?
I'll make it 2.
Very well. 2 degrees of success. And you wait a moment, and then you're timing it with the cracking of the automatic fire, and you break the stick. And then you grab the large, round rock from under the leaves, and you slowly move it into place, and you start to construct your lever.
Mm-hmm.
Faith, you're on the outside of the vehicle still. You're watching as this individual was running across, trying to find cover, and you hear the crack of Achira's rifle as the body tossles over, their head exploding outward like a watermelon. Dead.
Okay, well, that's all right. I want to go check the body.
You start to move as another arrow flies out towards you. I need you to make a dodge check for me.
I just yell out, oh, one more. There's one more, maybe more.
You immediately kind of duck back down, but let's see how you do with your dodge.
Okay.
Lampwick, you are inside. Achira, you're still scanning the horizon for additional opponents.
One degree of success for dodge.
1 degree of success is just enough to prevent you from being hit. As the arrow flies over your shoulder as you duck down again, back into the place that you were hiding. You know that there are more. Digger, you are removing dirt from one side of the boulder to try to prep everything up.
Using my shovel for its intended purpose.
Yes. So you are preparing everything with the material that you've gathered and your shovel, which has been sharpened to a razor's edge on either side.
Mm-hmm.
You quickly, desperately make your work against the ground, and you feel the boulder begin to shift.
Okay. So then I want to try and using the lever to push it away to make it roll away from the front of the car.
Digger, are you wearing any armor?
I have 2 in my heavy coat.
An arrow pierces through your shoulder. You take a 2 and a 1 to your damage track. Thankfully, you were moving at the time, and it only grazed the top of your shoulder. You feel a warmth of blood as you realize how close that was to your head. And it clatters against the stone in front of you and falls to the ground.
Remind me, how do I mark that off on my sheet?
Just write a 2 and a 1 down. Your damage threshold, once it is reached, you have to move some of these dice over to your wound track.
Copy.
And I'll help you with that as that happens.
Cool.
But for now, you just need to be aware that you have 2 dice of damage that you're carrying, a 2 and a 1. And that's fairly, it's fairly low. So you're in a pretty good place at the moment. Now then, Lampwick and Achira, from the far side of this pathway, you see the remains of the bear laid out on the ground. It's still twitching slightly from the shot that Rowan magnificently made, dropping the enormous creature. There is another shadow moving in that direction. You hear chains, and then a pair of roars as 2 sleek, large, cat-like creatures charge towards your vehicle. A pair of armored mountain lions have been unleashed onto the vehicle.
Rowan, do you have any grenades? I know you don't have a good history with grenades, but do you have anything explosive? Any of your men?
Rowan sighs and pulls out a grenade. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere.